my channel and welcome to my very first video of 2022. Is it too late to say Happy New Year? Well, I'm still gonna say Happy New Year anyway, because this is the first time I am seeing you guys since we entered into 2022. But I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you are happy. I hope that you ended the year 2021 really well and have entered 2022 feeling really positive about this brand new year. Now, what is so funny is I actually filmed this video already. I filmed, well, it wasn't this video, it was another video that I was gonna put out as my first video of 2022, and I can't find, for the life of me, I can't find my SD card. And I feel like it was a sign from God. I feel like God just wanted me to come onto YouTube and enter into the new year and come back to you guys, just having a real good, honest, raw, real conversation with you guys about what's been going on, where I've been, because I know I literally disappeared. As you can see, I'm alive, I'm well. Myself and Ben are really, really good as well. But talking to you guys about why I disappeared and why I disappeared the way that I did. Normally, you guys know, if I disappear from like one platform, I'm always on another. So if I'm not on YouTube, I might be on Instagram, vice versa. But this time I was nowhere to be found except from WhatsApp to talk to like friends and family. But it was a really good period, and I'm going to explain a little bit about that and just some real conversations I've had to have with myself before coming back on social media and giving myself to the world. Because when you are on social media, you're giving yourself to other people across all over the globe. And I just feel like I had to prepare myself, you know, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, for where I believe that my journey and God is taking me. But anyway, we're gonna get into this video. As you can see, it's a get ready with me. No, I will not be doing the whole, this is what I'm using, that's what I'm using, unless I kind of feel to. As you guys know, I always say I am not a makeup guru. I am not an MUA. I'm just a girl that likes to look cute and, you know, has a way or two of doing her makeup and thinks that she does an okay job. But yeah, enough of me rambling. Let's get straight into the video. So you guys are now zoomed into my face. I hope that you guys can see everything clearly. First and foremost, we need some Vaseline because my lips are dry. I'm trying to open up this Vaseline. Why is Vaseline so hard to open? Huh? Please, creators of Vaseline, please make the tin just a little bit easier to open. But first and foremost, what did I say that I wanted to talk about first? Just a general life update. So why did I disappear? In all honesty, guys, there's not that crazy of an explanation as to why I disappeared. It wasn't actually initially intentional. So some of you guys may know, by the time you watch this, you may have seen me like post up maybe on Instagram or something. I don't really know. I don't know if I'm gonna like drop a YouTube video first and then let everyone know. Do you know what I need to do? I need to put these things over here because it's getting in the way. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be dropping a YouTube video first and then obviously, you know, dropping my Instagram content or vice versa. But basically, myself and Ben were in Angola over the Christmas period. We actually went to go and visit his grandma and his family who live out there. So Ben is half Congolese, half Angolan. So his grandma is still out in Angola, and we were there from the 6th of December all the way up until, what date was it? Until the 6th of Jan. So we were there for a month. Now, guys, I'm not going to give you the whole story. I'll probably do maybe like a story time or something. And I know I've got a vlog as well, but some shenanigans happened. So first things first, guys, we got COVID. So that was interesting. 2 days before we traveled, I was really ill, like really, really ill. Like, you know, it was not cute at all. But we did a test the day before that and it came up negative. So we were like, oh, well, we've got a negative COVID test, so it mustn't be, you know, COVID. It's probably just a cold, like a really bad flu or something like that. Lo and behold, guys, it was actually COVID. They put us in a facility for 2 weeks. Yada, yada, yada. It's a lot, but don't worry, guys. That will all come as a recap either on my Instagram or you'll see a vlog coming out very, very soon. So do not worry, you'll see everything in terms of that. So that wasn't cute. It wasn't a great start to our trip. However, but when we were at the facility, there was barely any internet. So we had to ask Ben's grandma and his uncle to basically bring us And this is getting on my nerves, these 2 strands of hair. But yeah, so we asked them to basically bring us SIM cards, but where with data, obviously we use quite a lot of data because of work, emails, and then social media and stuff. But obviously because it wasn't us topping up, etc., because we literally didn't have access to doing it. I think I've put too much of this, way too much, but you know what, it's okay. There's tissue here, I'm gonna dab it down. We barely had data. So what that meant was we were not on social media. And so I kind of was forced into this place of not being on socials, not being on Instagram, because we literally didn't have the data to do it. And then I kind of just got used to it. And then all of a sudden I was like, I don't really want to post on Instagram. And also because I didn't really have content either. Like I ran out of content by the end of the year. I was like, there's nothing really interesting that I want to post. I've run out of content. I've done, my work for this side of the year. Like, I had content collaborations and brand stuff that I was meant to do. Did that, got it out of the way. And I was just like, I don't really feel like posting, to be honest with you. So I just didn't. And then, a day turned into 2, then 2 turned into 5, 5 turned into 10. And then all of a sudden we were there and I just didn't have the urge to post anything, not even on my stories. Because some of you guys know, even if I'm not on my feed, I'll at least be on my stories, but there was nothing, nada, no urgency, no desire. I didn't want to share where we were. I didn't want to share what was happening. I just didn't feel like it. And honestly, guys, I feel as though that needed to happen because I really needed to detach myself from social media so I could see some things about myself that I knew, but that I didn't really recognize, which is, let's start with number 1. My weight and how much of an issue it has been for me. Now, one thing that you'll probably notice, and I just want to clarify from now, is that you might see other videos from me and you might see that I'm a little bit bigger than I am now. The only reason that I'm slimmer now is because we are on a 21-day water fast with my church, 21 days, water only, if it needs be. I've had some dizzy spells and stuff. So I've included coconut water, some cranberry juice, that sort of thing. I've also had orange juice, which I'm not supposed to really have, but I had it and it made me feel so much better. I can't even lie. But it's generally a water fast, no eating. I haven't had any solid food. Today's I think today's day 11, no solid food, etc. It is very much doable. It is amazing. It helps you to detox your body, your mind, everything. Just my spirit just feels so much better. I feel lighter, physically lighter, spiritually lighter. But yeah, that is the only reason that I've lost weight, and we've still got about another week and a half to go. So if you see me lose more weight, it's because of that. Now, I wanted to make that very, very clear because I didn't want you guys to think I've now done something crazy in order for me to lose weight. But essentially, anyone that's followed me for a while will know that my weight has been an issue for me for a very, very long time. I was even talking to some of my friends from church, some of the ladies, a few months ago before we left. And one of them was basically just saying I may need to go to therapy for it, because I had come to the point, guys, where I was so unhappy with my weight that I actually I didn't even book, guys. I had a consultation with a surgeon in Turkey, not to get BB or anything like that, but in order for me to get, what's the surgery called? Gastric bypass. So to basically make my stomach smaller. I had spoken to loads of people that had done it before. I was doing my research. I was watching videos. I was ready, as in, guys, to the point where I'd made a decision, I'd done it, I booked in my consultation, I'd spoken to the surgeon, and I basically got my quote. I got my entire itinerary. We were even planning to do a collaborative video together. So when I say everything was sorted out, do not worry, guys. I know that right now I'm in between shades because we came back from Angola and I'm a bit darker, but at the same time I'm a bit lighter. So excuse the skin color, but I promise you it's all gonna come together. I promise. But yeah, I literally, guys, got my consultation done. I got my figures, all the numbers were sent to me. All that was left was literally to book my day and to basically say, yeah, it's time to go. Now, a lot of you guys might be looking at me right now and saying, but why do you need surgery? Again, let me make it clear. I have only lost weight recently, and quite a lot of weight recently, literally because guys, we're on a 21-day water fast, and naturally, if you are not eating for 21 days, you are going to lose weight. That is very, very natural. But if you guys saw me towards the end of 2021, I had put on so much weight. Guys, I was at the heaviest I have ever been in my entire life. And it bothered me, and it bothered me so much. And it affected me mentally, it affected me emotionally. And I just felt angry with myself. And I'll explain why. I felt angry with myself because I was like, Nissy, your weight is something that has bothered you for a very, very long time. Why is it that you have allowed yourself to get to this weight, which I'm not saying is big or small, everyone to each their own, but for me personally, was the biggest weight that I have ever been. And I wait to get to this point where I'm so unhappy, guys, to the point where I'm going back to some of the traits that I had before. So if you guys ever watched me back in the day while I was at uni, when I first started my YouTube channel, I remember talking about my weight and how insecure I was, and how I used to hate getting changed in front of people, and how I just used to say horrible things about myself when it came to my weight and all that kind of stuff. Guys, I was starting to slip back into some of those things. So I just didn't like looking at myself in the mirror. I was avoiding mirrors again. Guys, it was just bad. It was not cute whatsoever. I just was not a happy bunny. My weight really, really affected me. So I was like, do you know what? I'm sick and tired of, and I know that a lot of people who've dealt with weight issues in their life will know the frustration of your weight going up and down, up and down. My weight has gone up and down, guys, my entire life. I feel like my entire existence on this planet, I have just been, one thing that has been like a dark cloud over me has been my weight. And, I try to explain it to people, and unless you're somebody that's really dealt with weight issues, a lot of people just don't understand. They're like, what are you talking about? Or they do, but they're like, you look fine, don't even look that big. But it's not about what other people say. When you're going through something and you're explaining to somebody what it is that you are feeling, and they try to comfort you. So they're like, no, it's not even that bad. Unless you see it yourself, it's super hard for you to take anyone's word and just be like, yeah, you're right. It's very hard. How you see yourself, honestly speaking, guys, I believe that how you see yourself is the most important thing, because other people can see you, whether it be positively or negatively. But if you don't see yourself in that way, nothing will change, either for the good or the bad. So for me, people are like, no, Nissy, you don't even look that big. You're not even that heavy, etc., etc. I'm going to share some pictures, and the picture actually of when I kind of realized that my weight was a real issue for me. And it was when I did my last speaking engagement of 2021. And it was with My Life, My Say, run by my really good friend Mete. If you guys don't know about them, check them out. It is like a non-partisan organization that focuses on getting young people into politics. And I was on one of their panels, and there were pictures. Guys, I did not post not one of those pictures, because I looked at the pictures and I said, NISSYTEE, so this is what you have become. You have let yourself go. You came from being a size 10, 12, okay? Guys, I wasn't, okay, let me say more of a 12, but I was on the lower end of a 12, okay? I was a good size 12, a comfortable low end size 12 before I got married. And then I got married, and then now I'm pushing a size 18. I said, no, this is not for me. Guys, I went through, I was like, nope, this cannot be it. How is this possible? How did I let myself go this way? I refuse, guys, to post those pictures. And what is really sad was that was quite a big moment for me. It was, I was sharing a panel with the amazing Stephanie. I forgot her surname now, but Stephanie, who is the former aide to, was the former aide to the Obamas, and who does incredible things right now. And I was like, these are moments that I would love to share. But genuinely, guys, how I looked in those pictures, I said, I actually can't share this. I feel I look horrendous. That's just how I felt. Again, okay, one thing I should have said probably at the beginning is that this might be triggering for people who've like dealt with weight and stuff like that and who've really, really battled with their weight their whole life. So I do apologize if this is super triggering. I'm just telling you guys what my reality has been and how my thought process has been. But guys, I saw that picture. I saw even pictures of when we moved into the office, and I asked Shanna, as you guys know, she's like basically like my business partner. We do everything together. Shanna to take pictures of me. And I was like, yeah, I'm not posting these pictures. I felt absolutely horrendous. Guys, my weight has been an issue for a very long time. And I think the reason why I just wanted to go, and the surgery is in Turkey, but I trust them. We've been there before. If you guys remember, I did a video showing Ben's teeth transformation. I'll link it in the description if you don't know what I'm talking about. I've been there before. I've seen their clinic. I see how professional they are, how they dealt with us. So I felt very, very much comfortable going back to them. So my plan was to literally go to Turkey at some point, go and get this surgery done, come back, do a gastric bypass. Because I was like, I'm tired of fluctuating. I'm tired of my weight going up and down. I've had enough. I know that my main issue and my main problem is food. I have always, in fact, my language is changing. I used to be the type of person who lacked a lot of self-control when it came to food. So unless I physically could not consume that amount of food I eat, I feel sick or my stomach is full, I would keep eating. So I feel full. I had a lack of self-discipline when it came to food and dietary areas. And I was one of each extreme. And let me just do my eyebrows so I can come back and talk to you guys properly because, okay, cool. Right, so all done. As you guys know, eyebrows are very important. And if they're not done right, it messes up your entire face. So they require concentration. But anyway, I don't even know where I left off. I just know that I was talking about how awkward I started to feel. I just did not feel comfortable in my own body. It was getting bad. So I literally booked in everything and I was ready to go. I was gonna go to Turkey, get it done. But the only thing, beautiful people, that stopped me, and this is why it's so important to marry the right person. The only thing that stopped me was my husband. My husband literally said to me, he was like, Nissy, and my husband's the one person that can, we tell each other the truth. We tell each other if we think we're out of line or whatever it is, we tell each other the truth. He's the one person that can really, really get through me. Like he penetrates my soul, type thing. But he literally said to me, he was like, Nissy, at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do. And, you're going to do what you want to do. He was always against it though. He was like, no, I don't want you doing surgery. It scared him because he was like, God forbid something happens or something goes wrong. Like, what am I supposed to do? Type of thing. So basically what happens if it goes wrong and you die or something like that, because every surgery has a risk, right? It might be very, very minimal, but you are going under sedation, you're going under anesthetic, whatever it is, and there could be a complication. Who knows? Everyone reacts very, very differently. So he was just like, I just don't want you to do it at all. But at the end of the day, you're going to do what you want to do. But I just don't understand why you are doing this when you are the same person that will speak to your audience and speak to your brand and talk to people, especially women, about working hard and, working for what they want and grinding, etc. And then you're the same person that's basically going to get surgery and taking what he considered. I don't consider surgery an easy way out because there's still work that comes with it. You still have to work out. Otherwise, you would have wasted your money. And of course, it's surgery. So you're going to have like aches, pains, etc. after. But what he basically considered to be an easy way out, or a way out that he just didn't feel like was on brand for me. He was like, Nissy, it's not on brand. I remember I was even in now looking back, I'm even laughing because I'm like, he literally said to me, Nissy, it is not on brand for you. How can you be the same person doing the power class? If you don't know about the power class, I'll link it in the description box below. But run this program for women where you're encouraging women, empowering them. You're doing and saying all this stuff. And then yet you yourself are deciding that you're gonna fly to Turkey to go and get surgery. Now, will I say that I will never get surgery in my life? I can't say that because I am not necessarily against surgery. Like, I think if you have the money and there's something that you want to do, for example, boobs cannot be exercised to become lifted and perky or whatever it is, if that's what you desire. So if you go out to do boobs, I'm not going to judge you. In fact, I don't judge you if you do any surgery. But right now, I think something just clicked in my brain. So I said to myself, all right, Nissy, I'm giving myself one last chance. I'm giving myself one last chance. And that's what I'm saying. Am I saying completely no to surgery? That's not what I'm saying. But I said to myself, Nissy, you're going to give yourself one last chance and you are going to give it your all. You're not going to give it half. You're not going to be on it for 1 second and then go off. You're going to give yourself a certain amount of time. And I'm not going to tell you guys or anything like that. But I set myself a goal and I said, okay, I'm going to give myself this amount of time and I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to work on my mindset towards food, towards my health, towards my body. I'm going to recondition my mind so that I don't speak negatively about my body and the body that God gave me, because that's not healthy. How can I expect to treat my body well when I don't speak of it well? I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it just doesn't make sense for you to be like, yeah, I'm gonna love my body and I love myself, but yet you speak negatively of your body. It just makes zero sense. So I was like, no, I'm gonna work on these areas, etc. I'm giving myself this amount of time to do it, and I'm going to start. And that is literally the only reason, guys, I was not on that flight, because I would have gone and done it by now. But I was not on that flight in Turkey, got myself that surgery in order for me to lose weight. So I say all of that to say, guys, that I am on a fitness journey at the moment, lifestyle journey, lifestyle change. And I don't even know what to call it at this point, but I just got to a point where I saw those pictures and I said, I don't ever want to get back to that point. I got to a UK size 18, and that for me is just too big. I was like, especially where, you know, we do want to at some point, you know, have children and stuff. So you're telling me that if I'm a size 18 now and then I get pregnant and then I become like, what, a size 24, 26? I'm sorry. For me, I'm making this clear because I know how the internet be going and the internet be doing, okay? For me, that's not where I wanted to go. And I knew that the reason why my body was the way it is not because of anybody else. It's not because of, my husband forcing food down me. It's because I got too comfortable. And I lacked discipline. And that is actually gonna go into my second point, which is what I wanted to talk about today as well, which was the lack of discipline, guys, that I've had over the past couple of years, which have then affected every aspect of my life, which includes my weight. So let me talk to you guys about discipline. Yeah, guys, discipline is probably one of the most important things that you require if you want to do better, be better, or be successful. There is no way that you can be successful without being disciplined. No way. I recognize that I have lacked discipline for the past, maybe I would say 2 years of my life. Anyone that knows me, or at least knows me from like my childhood and stuff like that, and knows me growing up, knows that I have always been that person that always had drive, always had fire in my belly, always wanted more of myself, always wanted to like find ways to elevate and to do more. And I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. The fruits of it are only just coming out now, but I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. And so when I was growing up, I was always quite disciplined, like very self-disciplined. So like, for example, from this time to this time, I do this. From this time to this time, I do that. From this time to this time, I watch this show. Then from this time to this time is my reading time. I was that person. I was that kid. That was just like, I did the most, okay? I did the most. I was very disciplined. I always wrote things down. One of my really good friends, Christina, will know this because we used to be in the same form class, which is like I don't know how to describe it if you're from somewhere else in the world, but she was in my form class, and they give you a planner to basically write down obviously any homework you get or anything like that. Me and my planners were like this. I couldn't function without my planner. I had to write everything down. I liked everything in list form. I liked being super organized. And I remember one day, Christina probably wouldn't remember this, but I remember one day Christina saying to me something along the lines of like, you and that bloody planner, like bloody hell, like you guys are inseparable. And I remember saying to her, I was like, yeah, this is the only way that I stay on top of everything. I love being organized, and my planner just helps me to stay organized. That was the type of person I have always been at heart. Then the older I got, and obviously life got got busy, I quit my job. And I think the first year where I was really, really hungry, because guys, I was broke. You guys know, I've explained this story many a times. I was broke, the real life definition of broke. And I think when you lack, you work at a level that even surprises you because you're so hungry, because you're like, I want to make it. I want to make it. I want to make it. I want to do this. I want to move out of my house. Like, a lot of my goals were centered around, I want to move out of my house. I want to move into an apartment. I want to have this. I want to have that. A lot of that. And then what I started to realize was that the moment that I started getting those things, I started to become a bit more lax and a bit more comfortable. Part of it was also kind of needed because I feel like I have always been, let me hurry up with this. I don't know why I'm acting like it's taken me 500 years. I'm literally not doing anything but applying some brown to my eye. As you can see, nothing special. Don't know where I last left off in the story, but essentially I was talking to you guys about the lack of discipline that I had. So yeah, I grew up in a way that was very, very disciplined. I was very disciplined with myself, because I always knew that I had big dreams, big aspirations. I, was in a place where I was like, well, Nissy, you're not going to get there if you don't work hard and you're not disciplined and you don't discipline yourself. It's just not going to happen. But then I don't know what happened, guys. The last 2 years, I think in between like trying to get married and trying to, find my feet in being a wife and feeling like I had a bit of like a longer adjustment period compared to other people. And just, really trying to settle into that. Then obviously when you're married as well, you're really happy and you're like, oh yeah, do you want to get something to eat? Oh, do you want to go and get takeaway? Oh, let's go out. You get very comfortable. And I realized I just let myself go, guys. And my weight just kept creeping on and creeping on and creeping on until I couldn't even recognize myself. I was like, who is this person? So undisciplined. But one thing I realized, guys, was that also my mindset had shifted because I grew comfortable in many aspects of my life. I started, to get the things in my life that I wanted. So, for example, we moved into the apartment, super happy with that. I got married, super happy with that. And as those things were happening, I am not realizing that really and truly, I'm becoming more and more comfortable because I'm like, oh, I've ticked off this goal off my list. So, all right, well, good. I've ticked off this goal off my list. And I realized that because I had that mindset of like, oh yeah, it's cool now, yeah, whatever. And there was no aspiration anymore, or there wasn't that much pushing me anymore. I feel like it just affected every aspect of my life. So for the past 2 years, guys, I have been so undisciplined, whether it be with my routine, whether it be with my, the way that I work, whether it be, I just saw every angle, guys. I remember I used to be the person that I'd be like, okay, cool, set days, I will do this, this, and this. And these days I'll make sure I do this and this in order for me to ensure that I'm getting things done. Now, while I was ticking things off of my list, while I was working very, very hard, and this is another point that I wanted to make today, I was working very, very hard, but I was getting to places very slowly. Why? Because I lacked discipline. One thing that I quickly realized, guys, was that hard work on its own is not enough. I'm going to say that again, just for people at the back who really need to hear this. Hard work on its own is not enough. You have to be disciplined, guys. Discipline will get you to places that hard work and motivation can't get you. That's my new mantra. That's what I truly believe. Discipline is the difference between those that say that they do and those that actually do. Discipline is the difference between those that, maybe, and I know that some people might not like to hear this, but this is how I view it. Discipline is the difference between people that were like, will one day be like, oh my gosh, I really had a dream to become this and to become that. I really thought I was going to make it, but I guess it just wasn't for me. It's the difference between those people and I had a dream and I made it happen. The two difference between them, a lot of it, yes, other factors, etc., but right now I'm talking about discipline. A lot of it is discipline, and I lacked it, guys. I had let all my discipline go, and then I was wondering why it was that I was working so extremely hard, to the point where last year, another thing I realized, and another epiphany I had, or a revelation from God himself, was that I was working so hard to my own detriment. Again, connected to lack of discipline. I think everything really and truly is connected to lack of discipline, in all honesty, in terms of the things that I'm mentioning today. Guys, I overworked myself last year. I did the most. I overworked myself to the point where, but it's funny because I didn't feel burnt out often. Like I didn't feel like, because I've had previous years in my life where I've been at the point where I've just been constantly burnt out and I'm like, yep, I'm burnt out. I need a rest. For whatever reason, I didn't actually feel burnt out last year, but I certainly saw that I was tired. But I don't know if it was just like mentally, I was just quite strong or whatever it was. And I was just like, no, this is just a season that I have to go through. This is what I have to experience right now. I don't know what it was, but all I know is that I didn't necessarily feel burnt out across the year. But by the end of the year, I think I came to a fast realization that I was working so hard. Like I was pushing myself so much. But I also didn't achieve half the things that I wanted to achieve. And there was like almost like a frustration and anger, a bit of like weird resentment towards myself, not anybody else, but towards myself. Because I was like, Nissy, you're working so stupidly hard. You've been trying to do better in terms of, because it was something that I knew that I had to do from like the year before, where I was like, you know what, I need to rest more. And I was trying to be mindful of that as well, but I was still working so hard. And yet there was still a missing link. There was something that wasn't quite clicking. There was something that didn't quite make sense. And now that I look back, guys, I know that it was my lack of discipline. My lack of discipline meant that it was almost like being on a treadmill, right? You're running and running and running and running, and you're sweating and you're panting, etc. But you're not really going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. That's how I almost felt like. I felt as though towards the end of the year, yes, there was a lot that happened. I had my first 5-figure month, which was amazing, etc. But it felt like there was just something missing. Like something I don't know. It like excited me, but it didn't excite me. It was like, I was really happy, but at the same time, I was a bit like, I don't know how to describe it, guys. It's a really, really weird, like in-between place that I was in. I know that, guys, I wasn't depressed. I wasn't like not happy. I was very happy. I was excited that I hit my target, because my target was to make 5 figures. I was so excited to hit my target, but I just felt like, Nissy, if you're working this hard to make 5 figures, how is this sustainable? Because you are a human being. And that's one thing that I've had to really remind myself of over the past few months. I am a human being. I am one person. How do I help myself? And I think that was when, again, all of this started to click. I was like, Nissy, you're lacking discipline. You could actually make your life so much easier. You could make your load so much lighter if you just incorporated self-discipline into yourself. I don't know how to describe it, but just into yourself. And I realized very quickly, I was like, some things that I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. It's because I have no structure. I kind of did things as and when they needed to be done. I was in a place where, okay, cool. If this is the work that I need to do with NT Media, I did have a bit of a structure. Okay, I know that we upload content on this day. I check content on that day, etc., etc. I had a structure for the people around me, but within myself, where was my structure? Where was my routine? Where was my organization? And guys, it was something that lacked at the end of last year. And I realized, Nissy, you have zero discipline. I don't know where discipline has gone, but it has gone out of the window and it's affecting every area of your life. The way that you're eating is reflecting a lack of discipline. The way that you are looking after your body, i.e. working out, or the lack of, reflect a lack of discipline. The way that you are carrying out your business is reflecting a lack of discipline. Lack of discipline was seeping into every area of my life and I hated it. I didn't like it. I knew that I didn't want that to be my future. And so that's when in that time and that period that I took to reset and to really think, I said to myself, Nissy, so what are we going to do in 2022 that's going to be different? Because we can't, like they always say, you can't do the same thing over and over again, expect a different result. It does not work like that. That is the real life definition of insanity. You will drive yourself crazy going ham, working hard, doing all this stuff, but not giving yourself a shot, a real shot at, you know, reaching the pinnacles of success that you want to reach, because you just lack discipline. You don't have order in your life. And I think something else that I actually want to talk about maybe in another video is the fact that when you get married, because it's now not just about you and it's about the other person. And I've mentioned it in videos before where emotionally I went through, you know, quite a lot emotionally getting married, because I was like thinking I had to be this perfect wife and I had to cook all the time, I had to do these things, but then I also wanted to maintain what I was doing. So there was just no structure to my life, because I just felt as though like I've stepped into this new space. But in fact, when you are married, you can still create structure around your life. Is it different? Yes, because it's not just about you anymore. You have to be considerate of the other person. Oh my goodness. Guys, I apologize in advance if the sound is dodgy or not good or whatever, because my audio wasn't recording and I probably just forgot to hit record, which is so frustrating. Why is it that my first video cannot go right? Anyway, we're gonna keep going because we're not letting anything stop us in 2022, are we? I just came to a point, guys, where I was like, Nissy, we need to get it together in 2022. You know, we can't go around doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You can't sit there, be eating whatever you want, having ice cream when you feel like it, and just eating whatever, whenever, and then crying about the fact that you've put on weight. That's a lack of discipline. That's a lack of self-control. You know, that's a lack of love for myself. It's so easy, guys. And isn't it so easy to claim that you love yourself and to say, yeah, I love myself. I think I'm amazing. I think I'm great. But then when it actually comes to putting in the work for yourself and doing the things that you know will help you to be a better you, or that will help you to lead the life that you want to really lead, it becomes difficult. And all of a sudden you really look at yourself and you're like, do I really love myself? But yeah, guys, I really had to have some very honest conversations with myself. And that's when I decided that as we stepped into 2022, I was going to do things differently. So what has that meant so far? So obviously we're now into the third week of 2022. The very first thing that I had to kind of say to myself and had to make very, very clear was the way in which I worked. So like I said, I was working like a maniac, especially towards the end of the year, because I basically had to prepare to leave for Angola for a month, which was really scary because obviously my business is still very, very young. I was actually quite against it in the beginning. I was very like, no, I can't do it. I can't leave for that long. Like, my business is young, etc., etc. But I knew that Ben really wanted to go to Angola and spend time with his family, mostly his grandma. And so I was like, do you know what, Nissy, let's do this, because I want to experience this with him. I don't want him to have all these experiences on his own. So I, sacrificed, and I said, okay, do you know what? I'm going to make sure that I do the work that I need to do before I go, set everyone up, make sure that everyone is all good to go. And then obviously when we get there, we'll have internet, etc., which was definitely pushed to the limit and tested, because when we then got there was no internet, but that's a story for another day. And we went and whatnot. But coming back, one of the things that I really said to myself was that I'm not going to work the way that I did last year, because I think it was counterproductive. Am I saying that I'm not going to work hard? Absolutely not. Me showing up, that's working hard. You showing up, that's working hard. Me making sure that I turn up and I do the work that I need to do. Of course, I don't believe that there's an easy way out for anybody. Anyone that wants to be successful or that is successful says the same thing. In order to be successful, you have to do this, you have to do that. There's a lot of work that goes into it. I am not planning to bypass any of that work. However, I also believe that there comes a point where you need to start working smarter and not necessarily harder. My work ethic is not the problem. My lack of discipline is. So I'll tell you guys what I've basically been doing, and I'm going to be doing a video, like a day in the life, or like a day routine, because I have a completely different routine to the routine that I or should I say the lack of routine that I had in the year before. And that lack of routine, guys, meant, you know, like I said, lack of discipline in every area of my life. And then unfortunately also feeling very anxious because I remember I was waking up, you know, whenever I kind of could, because while it was still early, so I would wake up at like an 8. That's the latest time I would wake up, which is still early for a lot of people. But where I had so much to do, guys, I would wake up feeling super anxious. I don't know if anyone else has had this before, but I would just wake up, guys, feeling anxious because I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this, got to do that. So I realized, you know what, Nissy, if this doesn't work for you, that's absolutely fine. What are we going to do about it? So I started a brand new routine. Now, I have been, guys, just in the last couple of weeks, I have been far more productive. And I realize I'm doing more talking than I am doing my makeup, but I have been far more productive than I have been, you know, than I was last year. Last year, there was, like I said, a lot of hard work, a lot of effort, a lot of drive, a lot of, all right, Nissy, we're going to hit these goals. And like I said, I did hit those goals. I'm not saying that, you know, I didn't hit those goals. I did, absolutely. But do I feel like I was as efficient with my time? Absolutely not. Now, also what I have as well is, guys, I have dedicated time. For example, Thursdays, like today, is my filming day and my content day. Do I still do NT media or Powerclass stuff? Yes, but my priority is content. So I've carved out a day in my week in order for me to not get flustered and start thinking, oh my gosh, but then there's NT media, but then there's content. That's why also last year, guys, I was so inconsistent. It wasn't because I didn't want to put out content. I wanted to put out content, but it was just because I lacked discipline. And so it meant that I was a bit all over the place. And because I was all over the place, who even has time to be thinking about filming, let alone editing a YouTube video when I'm all over the gaff? Right, guys, so this is the completed look. How do I look, guys? Let me know in the description. Why do I keep saying description? In the comment section below. But yeah, ultimately, guys, I just wanted to just say that everything really, guys, just points back to discipline and self-discipline. I think that that's one thing that I really, really learned last year. And I've been having conversations with God. I've been praying into it. And my 2 words for this year is discipline and consistency. And I really know that as long as I can be disciplined and consistent in my life and within myself, I know that it will literally overflow into every aspect of my life. But I have to be willing to make that commitment. But I know this video is extra long, but I hope that someone finds this really useful. And I hope that you can be encouraged by this. I hope that you can watch this and be like, oh my gosh, I realized that about myself, especially in the lack of discipline aspect and consistency aspect, because without it, guys, you know, no successful person was able to get to where they are without some form of discipline, without implementing discipline, whether it be athletes, whether it be some of the greatest performers and singers on this planet, whether it be, you know, some of the greatest business owners on this planet, whether it be people that have, you know, moved up in their career. They had to have discipline, because without it, guys, you get tired, of course, you lose motivation, of course, but discipline takes you that extra mile. So discipline, guys. Discipline is really the word for this year. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you really watched up until this point, shout out to you. You are amazing. I love and appreciate you. Let me know in the comments below, like, if there was anything that kind of you picked up on or that triggered you, or that you were like, oh my gosh, you know I need to work on this for this year. I would love to hear from you guys. And I'm excited about this year. I know I say it every year, but this year just feels different. I feel like I'm in a different place. I've kind of like shifted. I don't know if it's like adulthood. I'm now more closer to 30 than I am in my 20s. I don't know what it is, but something has definitely shifted in me this year. And I'm very excited to just see whatever God does and where we're going to end up. Please don't forget, guys, to like, subscribe and share. Please continue to support this channel. I know that I haven't been the best over the past couple of years, but I promise you I am doing my best. And as long as you guys are willing to ride with me on the journey, I promise to give you guys as much value as I possibly can. But I love and appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, make sure you're following me on Instagram especially. And I'm going to be hopping back on Snapchat very, very soon. So yeah, Snapchat and Instagram, just to keep up with my day-to-day. And make sure you check myself out and Ben on TikTok as well, because we are planning to get out some really cool content for this year on TikTok. TikTok. So make sure you check us out as well. But I'll speak to you guys soon. And yeah, thank you for watching.